Yo, what's going on with you guys today? So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down and sharing with you no BS step-by-step breakdown on how to literally go from overweight to lean in just 60 days. I'm literally going to be sharing with you a step-by-step breakdown that you guys should definitely take notes if you're big and overweight, because I'm going to be sharing with you in detail everything you're going to need to do, everything you're going to need to follow to literally see yourself look like a completely different person in just 60 days. And that may sound like a short time to most people, but trust me, especially if you're starting out really, really big and overweight, because guys, if you guys didn't know, I used to weigh over 300 plus pounds. And I'm not going to lie to you, my overall fitness journey was up and down. I was doing a lot of different things, a lot of trial and error. And with all the fitness knowledge and all the things I've learned, the trials and errors of my overall personal fitness journey, I can definitely say that I've come a long way. And I definitely can literally give you the secret blueprint to literally follow. If you follow exactly what I'm saying step by step for 60 days, there is zero chance you're not going to lose weight and look like a completely different person. So please take your notes, take your pens out, get ready, because I'm going to basically give you all the information that I've learned from my own personal experience, from different personal coaches that I've personally had in my life that helped me get to where I'm at today, and also still currently helping me lose that extra 10 more pounds that I'm trying to lose. So please, guys, take your notes out, because I used to be over 300 plus pounds. And if I knew this information that I'm about to give to you now, I would 100% got to my goal super quicker. Literally within like 90 days, if I locked in for 90 days straight, with all this information I'm about to give to you, I would have looked so much better, quicker, and so much more faster. So yeah, be ready to take notes, because this is probably the only and most effective way to lose weight consistently for 60 days without giving you any BS guides or giving you some like secret, fat burning drinks or all these different fake supplements out there that's supposedly going to help you burn fat. Ultimately, guys, what I'm going to give to you, it ultimately is going to require a lot of work. But trust me, if you follow these step by step to a T, that's the key. You got to follow this information I'm going to give to you to a T, and I will 100% guarantee you within 60 days, you will lose a lot of weight. Now, guys, the very first thing I'd recommend you guys to do is really, really lock 1,000% on your nutrition. Not 100%, lock 1,000% on your nutrition. Now, let me go more in detail on what I mean by locking 1,000% on your nutrition. Now, guys, you may know, you've probably heard it a million times, nutrition is key, nutrition is key. Nutrition is so fucking key. I don't even know how much, it's literally 80 to 85% of your overall fitness goals as far as your fitness, as far as your fat loss and your fitness journey. If you're not locked in on your nutrition, you will never, ever see any progress as far as losing weight, physical progress, feeling healthier. The doctor will always tell, every time you go to the doctor, going for a checkup and you're not locked in on your nutrition, your doctor will always tell you're fat. So if you really want to see the most results, you need to lock in on your nutrition. Now, let me go more in detail on what I mean by locking in on your nutrition. Guys, a mistake that I made in my fitness journey early on was not really, really taking this shit serious and understanding what I needed to be eating on a day-to-day basis. For me, when I first started my fitness journey, I was eating a whole bunch of relatively healthy foods, not tracking my foods, not understanding what my overall calorie intake needs to be to lose weight consistently. So what I mean by locking 1,000% on your nutrition, guys, the very, very first step, I wish I had my whiteboard with me, but I'm actually in class right now. I'm in my school recording this video. So next time I'm going to record with the whiteboard so I can really show you and you can have it step by step on the board. But the very first thing, guys, you need to let me just put you, if you're waking up and you want to lose weight 60 days, you need to first understand and know your current body weight. So I know a lot of people, they don't have the ability or they don't have the time to do an in-body scan or some type of DEXA scan. I'd recommend you start off with that, because that will literally give you the exact overall, it'll give you your body measurements as you currently stand. And with that measurement, you can gauge your overall calorie intake. So you need to know what calorie intake your current body is at, what you're currently at. So if you're like me, I'm 6'2". I used to be over 300 plus pounds. I think my highest ever recorded weight that I can remember was 305 pounds. So when I first did my in-body scan at the gym I went to, I did my scanning thing and they put my fingers on the scanner. I did the calculations. I saw that for me to maintain the current weight that I had at the time, I would need to be eating around 3,200 calories. So it was all I know was it was over 3,000 calories. So for me to literally sustain my big and overweight, big ass self, I would need to be eating around 3,200 plus calories a day. So that's why you need to really, really know this is what this. I'm going to get super detailed and technical with you guys because you guys may not know, but you really need to understand your overall calorie intake because at the end of the day, it's going to be calories in versus calories out. Because your body needs to, if you want to look slimmer and look healthier, you need your body to use other fuel sources instead of the calories you're consuming on a day-to-day basis. It needs to use your fat as fuel. So let me not go too in depth. Simply figure out your overall daily calorie intake for you to maintain your current body. So if you guys can use, like I said, an in-body scan or something like that, I'm going to show you right now. I'd recommend something like this, a TD. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's see, whatever it is, you guys get the idea. It's TDEEcalculator.com. Literally go on there. What I would do is I'm literally going to go through this step by step. So for me, you put an age, whatever age you're at, 23. Let's say you're starting off at 300 pounds. You type in your weight. So this app, what I've come to realize, it's not 100% accurate, but it's literally better than just guessing. Ultimately, this is probably 80% better than you guessing what you need to be eating on a day-to-day basis as far as calorie wise. So anyway, I digress. Let's say you're 6 foot, you're a 6 foot guy, and for activity level. So what this means, activity level, all this shit's blurry as hell. All the activity level means is on a day-to-day basis, how active are you? So for most people, I would put them at like a light exercise. Sedentary means you're just literally home all day, 24/7. And if that's you, you have bigger issues. I got to say that. But for most people who maybe just like occasionally walk around once a week, still relatively not really active. But let's just say for most people, just to be on the safe side, to get like a good gauge of what your overall calorie intake needs to be, I'd put light exercise. And then you just click calculate. Boom, right there. I don't know if you can see this, but this says 3,200 calories. So for me, back then, to maintain my big ass self back then, my overall big back looks, how I was looking back then, I would need to be eating around 3,200 calories every single day just to maintain my current weight. Now, it gives you more information. As you scroll down, it tells you my overall BMI was definitely at the 40%. So that was pretty bad. And now you scroll down to here. I just go to cutting. Now, you see, I don't know if you guys saw me go from maintenance to cutting. Basically, when you scroll down on the TDEEcalculator.com, it'll show you overall all you need to do to lose weight. So now I'd go to the cutting phase because obviously you need to be cutting weight. You need to lose weight. All cutting means is that you're going to be eating in a calorie deficit. So instead of eating that 3,200 calories, it's going to tell me what I should be eating. For me personally, I like to go, and I would recommend to literally see the most progress is go lower carbs, decent amount of protein, and then keep the fats also at a pretty low rate. So for me overall, see why I don't like using this calculator too much is because it gives you some crazy numbers as far as like your macros. So the macros are the proteins, carbs, and fats. So that's pretty much like overall what you need to be monitoring when you're basically tracking your foods. Just know how much protein you're getting. The main key thing, guys, is to just know, especially when you're cutting, to have a good amount of protein because that protein is going to keep you fuller longer. It's going to make you feel like especially when you're cutting, you really, really need to prioritize proteins and carbs and fats as well. You need to prioritize all three of them, but in order, I would say number one is going to be your protein intake is going to be the most important thing. Second is carbs, just to give you that energy. Fats is always going to be there. So as you guys can see, this is telling me to eat 279 grams of protein every day, which is ridiculous. I would not need to be eating that much proteins, and I wouldn't recommend anybody to do that, especially if you're on like a 60-day crunch. You don't need to be doing that. So, but this just breaks down your macros as far as like what overall breakdown you should be eating. But if you look, it tells you, for me to really cut weight, I would need to be eating around 2,700 calories to see weight loss, to see like actual consistent weight loss, which is about a 500 calorie deficit from the 3,200 overall that it was telling me my maintenance was. Now, for me, guys, like I said, if you're trying to lose weight in 60 days, you will need to bump that calorie decrease even more. I honestly would say to go to 1,000. So especially if you're big and overweight, like say you're starting off at let's just go from what I've noticed most guys are 6 foot over like 260. You would need to be eating 2,700 is a good start, But I would actually recommend you go like lower than that actually to really see a lot of progress in just 60 days. So instead of going to 2,700 calories, I would say bump it down another thousand, like not another thousand, yeah, another 500 calories. So instead of 2,700, I'd go to 2,200 to 2,300 calories every day. A rough estimate, your protein should be around 190 to like 200 grams of protein every day. That's more than enough. Your carbs should be at least between 100 to 130 to 150. Let's just say your carbs should be at least from 100 to 150. You can play around with the carbs and the fats. Try not to exceed 60 grams of fats. So that's just like a rough estimate off the top of my head. But if somebody was to literally stick to that program, eating around 2,200 to 2,300 calories a day and do not exceed that for 60 days, tracking your foods, making sure you're eating the right foods, not over exceeding that, trust me, you will lose crazy amount of weight just off that alone. If I gave you that stat of a guy 6 foot, 260 to 300 plus pounds, simply giving him a meal plan that was not that did not exceed 2,300 calories, and he was eating that every single day for 60 days straight, the weight will literally fly off. After 60 days, somebody will question him and think he got like a disease because he's gonna look super anorexic after just 60 days. So that's kind of how you calculate your overall calories, and that's why this also goes back to my first point. Like I said, being 1,000% doubting, you need to know 100% what your overall daily calorie intake needs to be. So now this kind of goes into my second point. Once you figure out your overall calorie intake, you need to be having a proper meal plan that you can follow for these 60 days. And this is, like I said, very, 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 very important. You need a simple, easy meal plan. You don't want to overcomplicate the meal plan because one, it's going to take you to, because I personally recommend you cook all your meals yourself. So you need to set it either on a Saturday or a Sunday, your rest day. You need to be cooking all your meals yourself. I know people recommend, these top level guys that recommend you, DoorDash or not DoorDash, but they recommend food companies to service your food. Ultimately, guys, I don't feel like you can really build that discipline and real habits by just like paying people to cook your food. You don't have to be a chef. Like for me, all my foods, and I actually don't believe when people tell me that it's hard to lose weight in America because they've made it so easy to buy simple, healthy foods. Before, when I used to meal prep my foods, I used to buy raw chicken, had to season that shit myself, had to do all that shit myself. Now, guys, especially if you have a Sam's Club or Costco membership, you could literally buy already cooked chicken that's already smoked grilled chicken. Or if you don't want to even buy that, you can buy chicken that's already seasoned, where all you literally need to do is put that in the oven for 20 minutes. Boom, you're done. Chicken is done. And I like chicken and rice. It's simple. It's super easy. It's easy to repeat. You can flavor it, put a lot of seasoning, so it never really gets bland. I don't know why people who say eating chicken and rice is boring. They literally they don't know what boring is. They rather eat fried chicken and rice, or they rather eat fried chicken and whatever. But they don't want to eat the healthy shit, which is very, very important. So what I want to just come to as my second point of this is you need to prioritize making your meal plan simple and easy, because like I said, you will need to follow this meal plan for 60 days. So no breaks, weekends included. So that's also very, very important. You have to understand that you need to be eating the same shit every single fucking day, Sunday to Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, repeat. You cannot have any cheat days. You cannot have a break. You need to be locked in 100%. And that's why I feel like if you're really, really serious, if you're really serious with this, or with all the information I just gave you, as far as learning your calorie intake, your macros, and tracking and having a simple, easy meal plan, I'd recommend 3 meals a day, splitting it up, finding your macros, picking food that you enjoy that are simple and easy to relatively cook, that you should not spend more than an hour and a half in the kitchen. Because like I said, you don't want to spend too much time in the kitchen because that'll just drain you week in and week out. That was a mistake I was making, was cooking all these. One mistake that I fucked up my fitness progress was I was going on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, seeing all these different high protein, big ziti pastas, and I would spend hours in the kitchen just for it not to taste the same as what it looked like in those videos, and it threw off my macros because I wasn't able to track all the foods I was eating. So I forgot to mention why I recommended you have a simple meal plan is so you can easily track your foods. Like I said, back to the point one, you need to be able to track your foods, and the only way to track your foods on a consistent day-to-day basis is by making sure you're tracking easy, preppable, and cooked food. And as far as the app that I use to track my food, I'll show you this right now. MyFitnessPal. It's an easy app to use. I have the paid subscription because sometimes I may have because basically you don't even know the details. But MyFitnessPal, that's currently what I use, and right now for the whole entire day, I'm at 1,800 calories. I don't know if you guys can see that, but for me, my absolute cap for me personally right now, as I'm recording this video, is 2,000 calories. I cannot exceed over 2,000 calories, and for me, I'm just under that for the rest of the day. I log my meal for dinner, so for me personally right now, I'm at 1,800 calories for the whole day. And that's helping me lose that extra bit of fat that I'm trying to get to my goal. So if you guys, I don't know if this is blurry, but you guys get the idea. MyFitnessPal is what I use to track my foods every single day. And as you guys can see a little bit of what I have, I don't know if you can see the meals, but my breakfast is literally just a hero protein bagel. If you guys don't know what a protein bagel is, look it up. It's a low calorie, low carb bagel with a good amount of protein and eggs. Literally that and 5 eggs is my breakfast. For lunch, all I'm having is rice, broccoli, and grilled chicken. Then I also had a protein bar as like a snack. And then my dinner personally is going to be the same thing. Rice, well, not the same thing. Rice, chicken. No, not rice. Not chicken. See, my dinner is going to be just broccoli, rice, and ground beef. So that's my overall meal for the whole entire day. And guys, people say this is boring and monotonous. My parents tell me that shit. Trust me, that shit is not. Like, especially if you season your ground beef and chicken really, really well and put a good enough seasoning. Trust me, it does not taste bland. It doesn't taste boring. I mean, it will get repetitive if you think about it, but as you're eating it in the moment, it's food. At the end of the day, food is just going to be fuel for you to just get you through the day. And trust me, I'm losing weight and I'm not even like, it's not even like a hassle because I'm eating good food. The protein is high in my meals in each and every meal. So I'm satiated and I'm fuller longer. So that's what I've also realized. You need to be eating foods that have a good amount of protein. So you need to prioritize whole foods while you're dieting for these 60 days. And like I said, you don't want to do any crash diets because it won't last. Your urges and your cravings are gonna kick in. I can 100% guarantee you that. So to prevent those cravings, especially for these 60 days, please make sure you're prioritizing protein and you're prioritizing whole foods so you don't fuck up your overall 60-day challenge. If you're trying to make this a 60-day challenge, you do not want to fuck it up by just eating a whole bunch of bullshit. Now, my third point for you guys, now that you have the nutrition and understanding the importance of nutrition and diet and really understanding your calorie intake, the next most important thing, guys, is going to the gym and getting some type of activity level in. Because like I said, you're on a 60-day time crunch. Honestly, if I was giving you like a 90-day time crunch, you could probably get away with losing a good amount of weight just by doing and locking in on that nutrition and your meal plan and your overall calorie deficit intake that needs to be on point every single day. You cannot miss a day. You cannot overeat on a certain day. No, you cannot. That's how serious it has to be if you're serious. But I digress on that point. The next key important thing, guys, is going to the gym, just getting some activity levels in. Now, for me personally, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do as far as the gym and your overall activity level, physical activities. Go to the gym, lift weights at least 4 days a week, and also get some type of steady state cardio in 6 days a week. That may sound like a lot, guys. You're on a 60-day time crunch, so you need to do a lot of shit to really ramp up that weight loss, significant weight loss in 60 days. So, and it may sound a lot, but trust me, after you do it for 2 weeks, it's not gonna. From what I've noticed for myself personally, doing something after 2 weeks, it doesn't feel as tedious as it did the first week. So you're gonna have to get through that first week hard times. But trust me, if you do this, you'll be set up for success for 60 days. So like I said, go to the gym, lift weights. Your weightlifting session doesn't have to be long. Your weightlifting session does not have to be longer than 1 hour. So pick a few workouts. I definitely would recommend you go for like a push-pull leg split or upper-lower split. Just pick a few exercises you want to do in the gym just so you can lose extra body fat, just so you can lose weight in general. And that cardio that you're going to do after your lifting sessions will just be that extra caloric burn to help you lose that extra body fat. So like I said, guys, go to the gym, lift weights 4 days a week. And also, after your gym sessions, go on a cardio machine. Doesn't matter what it is. I'd recommend either Stairmaster or treadmill, 35 to 40 minutes every single day for 6 days straight. Pick whatever days you want to do, but just make it 6 days out of the week. So pretty much the majority of the week, you need to do some type of cardio steps, get your steps in, walking, whatever it is. It can be steady. It just needs to be steady state cardio. If you're doing high intensity cardio, that will not be won't be sustainable for 60 days for anybody, for most people. So that's why I'd recommend steady state cardio, simply going on a treadmill on a slight incline. I'd say a 5 to 6 incline max speed at like a 3.0 speed. You can go maybe 2.7 speed if you're like, super new, and just literally cruise at that for 40 minutes. And if you're on a Stairmaster, go on a level 5 for 35, 40 minutes as well. 5 to 6 days, 6 days a week. Let me just say 6 days a week. Trust me, that'll be golden for you. On top of lifting, bro, if you literally do all this shit I'm telling you so far, you will be set up for success. I'd say within 30 days, let alone 60s. But trust me, 60 days, you will look like a whole different person if you're locked in for these 60 days doing exactly what I just said throughout this video so far. Now, another key thing you want to do is also prioritize your sleep, getting your water intake in. Now, what I'm mentioning now is just more like are just bonus cherries on top that'll just make everything smoother. So what I want to just finish off by saying is making sure you're getting your water intake in. At least 4 regular bottles of water is fine. So drinking at least 4 bottles of water a day is what I'd recommend. And getting at least 6 hours of sleep a day. Because like I said, since you're on a 60-day time crunch, sleep is going to be a main priority that you're going to need to prioritize. So getting enough sleep is going to be very, very important. And last but certainly not the least, guys, your mindset will need to shift completely. You will need to, for these 60 days, you will need to lock in for 60 days straight. We're almost in the new year. So basically, if you were to start today, by the new year, you will be a whole different person. So what I mean by locking in, guys, is your mindset will have to shift. You will have to completely sacrifice going out to all these clubs, going out to your favorite restaurants, eating your favorite junk foods. That will have to quit completely because, like I said, you cannot miss a single day for 60 days straight. So this may throw some people off. This may not be what most people want to hear, but to ultimately see the best results, and like I said, I'm giving you no bullshit advice that if I did and I would have known sooner how serious sacrificing, going out to eat, sacrificing these junk foods that I just couldn't let go, just literally sacrificing it and giving it up. Because just tell yourself, if I were to give up this KFC or this Chick-fil-A sandwich, 3 years from now, it's still going to be here. So I can't sacrifice 60 days. Come on, that sounds crazy. So just literally sacrificing is going to be key, because if you don't sacrifice, you will not see the progress that you want to see in your fitness goals as far as losing weight, especially in 60 days. Honestly, you're going to need to sacrifice it more than 60 days. But for 60 days, if you're on a 60-day time crunch, like I said, you will need to know the importance of sacrificing, giving up certain foods, saying no to certain people who want to go out to eat, go out to drink, and it's going to throw you off your macros. Because like I said, you want to be tracking every single day. So if going out to this club or going out to this event, you won't be able to track the foods there, and it'll throw off your macros for the day, and it's not going to be healthy. You got to say no to that. I'm sorry, that's the God honest truth. Most people don't want to say this. Most people don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. If you know this event is going to throw you off your goals as far as what you're going to be intaking in your body, or if it's going to affect you from going to the gym, you got to say no to it. You have to say no for at least 60 days. Trust me, doing this, all these things that I mentioned to you guys, if you're able to do this for 60 days straight, no breaks, no off days, you will I don't even want to say 1,000,000% lose a bunch of weight in those 60 days. So please, hope you took something from this video, man, and locked in, because what I just gave you is literally all the information that I've gathered throughout my own personal fitness journey, compiled it into a 60-day game plan for you to follow. And trust me, if you were to follow this game plan for 60 days, you will see a whole bunch of progress in your weight loss goals. And I also want to just mention, I personally, like I said, I've come through a long way. I've lost a lot of weight throughout my whole fitness journey, had a lot of ups and downs and trials and errors. So I definitely know what it takes, especially for a newbie beginner who's overweight, who's really stuck, doesn't know where to begin, or like they're stagnant or at a plateau and they don't know where to go or where to start, or like how to progress if they're stuck. So I also personally offer personal one-on-one coaching for guys who are just stuck, who just don't know where to go, have no direction, and just they want to just give up the fitness journey. Trust me, you do not want to give up. You just need the right proper guidance and structure to really get you to that extra goal, extra step, or just take you from 0 to 100. That's all I want to say. Just basically take you from 0 to 100. Because most people, like I said, they don't have direction. They don't know where to go or where to start, even simply where to start. So I have a program where I offer one-on-one training to help guys who have zero idea how to really lose weight, and they want to lose weight and they don't like the way they look, but they just don't know where to start. They know there's so much information out there, but they just don't know how to actually start. So to conclude this video, I just want to throw that out there. I personally offer one-on-one coaching for people who are stuck, have no idea where to begin, or just need personal one-on-one direction and coaching catered to you specifically to help you get to your goals faster. So yeah, lock in and let's get into it.